What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Broad Street Blitz Take Leader Edition with Leader Johnson and your boy Cool Cat Connor. What up, Leader?
What's going on, my man? Good training camp. Was good training camp. Good day. Things going on. What's up with everybody tuning in to Blitz Take, Broad Street Blitz Take family? Good thing. Good day. Great day.
Yep. Well, go ahead, my brother. You gave out the topics. The first topic, you said receivers. You said a new signing, and you said Jalen freaking Hurts. So
Yeah,
let's go ahead.
we're definitely gonna continue on Jalen Hurts. But let's go to the receiver room. I like what I'm seeing, just particularly because the receiver room it's not a dire need. I mean, you got AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith, you got Jahan Dotson, who's looking good on offseason workouts, really getting in tune with the receivers. Um, I'm liking the receiving room. I think there's nothing to go for, and there's some guys also to look at. In camp, let's talk this another camp, little camp star, because we're gonna be commenting you on the camp. Terrence Marshall Jr. showed out. He showed
Yep.
out. This guy's a tall receiver.
Yeah.
He's not strange. He's not strange to. He has a 6'3". It's an interesting talent. Even AJ Brown gave him some love. It's really interesting to see that fourth receiver could be a 6'3" guy that can run. With Jahan Dotson, it's very Danny Gray still got to look at. We ain't even heard from Giles Jackson. We ain't heard from him soon. Also some guys. Let's talk about the depth chart. We can talk about just how good guys like Johnny Wilson and Nia Smith are two guys we want to see progress. Both of them had touchdowns. Wilson had a problem with dropping the ball a little bit, especially during the Super Bowl. I'm looking at other guys in here. Guys are on the list are guys like Elijah Cooks. You ever heard from Darius Cooper? Was a guy who was good at his school. Taylor Morin's a guy, special teams guy. All these guys are on the mark for receiver, and I really think that if you look at start from the top, you have to be AJ Brown since he's got here has been a game changer. We talk about naming him top 10 receivers. To me, just off pure dominance of your number one-on-one matchup, AJ Brown is the best receiver in football. You put him out there, and no one can guard him. Literally, he bosses everybody. He knows where to put his hands. Jalen Hurts also. It's another thing about Jalen Hurts. He knows where to put the ball when it comes to AJ Brown. JJ Brown, let me tell you something about the who he has perception. Just because he throws the ball to AJ Brown anywhere doesn't mean that he's going to be able to catch it anywhere on the field. This is unbelievable. They say, oh, yes, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. If you don't put that ball in the right places, this happened with a million different quarterbacks, just quarterbacks through time. You throw it in the wrong spots. I've even seen McNabb do it. Throw it in the wrong spots, guys ain't to catch it. It happens. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is, to me, the best route runner in the league. He does it so smooth, so quick, so swift, and he has elite hands, really underrated hands, because some of the catches he makes, he doesn't get the credit for some of the catches. Only at the time of the moment, but not really being called as one of the best hands in football. And yeah, he's been told he's the most underrated receiver, which is unbelievable. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are two of the top 5 receivers in football. That is it. Nobody, listen, when they lost the game to Tampa Bay, if Devontae Smith was doing so good, they were having their moments in game. But if Devontae Smith plays that game, they don't lose it. Say what you want. When Devontae Smith can play, he can win games by him, Saquon, and Hurts. It can be one like that. So it's crazy. Jahan Dotson, like I told y'all at the end of the season, he I'm talking about the playoffs. And in the season, the last game against the Giants, playing against. Listen, he was starting to get used because remember he came on like early into the season, didn't get a chance to fill out the playbook, kind of like Cooper DeJean. He's hurt, they had to get his stuff. Listen, Jahan Dotson is a hell of a receiver. I'm telling y'all right now, Jahan Dotson was a lucky get. He's a great route runner, has great hands. He's always been like that since Penn State. Wait till you see what he does this year. Whether he signs back with the team or not, we don't know. But believe me, the team likes Jahan Dotson is that guy. It is unfair to really. Jalen Hurts can throw those balls. So if you give him weapons, he always capitalizes. He's gotten everybody the ball from when he gets a receiver, he maximizes the talent. Y'all told him to get his stuff together. Jalen Hurts, right? At 2022, everybody was seeing, is he gonna be good? He did get better. Not only that, he was an MVP candidate. So just looking at this, who I like the most, I'm gonna say who I like the most out this group. Just before AJ and all them and Jahan, the guy like realistically, the guy who showed out. Because I know how he was at LSU. I know what type of draft pick he was. Terrence Marshall. You
Mm-hmm.
want to see if these guys are going to make it or get cut. That's what you want to see. You see a lot, like another guy I'm gonna say, but this is just off the record. Byron Young, defensive tackle. It's the last I'm gonna say that name. We're gonna come back. Byron Young is a guy I got a lot of confidence in the defensive tackle. But this is a good room. This is a room better this year because there's experience from Nia Smith and Johnny Wilson being there for 1 year. Terrence Marshall's been there a couple of years. These guys have all types of talent. If Nia Smith can get just not being a superstar, but be a guy you can use on trick plays, he has that type of speed. This dude is like a joystick. You know what I mean? And Johnny Wilson is 6'7", 145. So you got these guys at receiver. And then again, Danny Gray. We got to give Danny Gray his credit. He's doing this thing. We don't know how Giles Jackson's going to do. I think he makes the practice squad. We'll see. But cool kid. Just we'll see. Cool. Jalen freaking Hurts is throwing to these
Yep.
guys. What do
Yeah,
you
he
like
is.
about this receiving room? What do you like about this receiving room? What you say about it?
For me, I like this receiver room. I like, of course, y'all know how I feel about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So I rock with this wide receiver room. So it's just the back end, like Jahan Dotson. I like him. It's just what the back end of those three. We need to see it. Like I need to see.
Yeah.
Now they're looking good in training camp. I will concede that. They're looking good in training camp. But y'all know we need to see it. So I need to see what we're going. I need to see it. Let's see what we're gonna do. But I rock with these guys, man. So and like you said, Jalen freaking Hurts got some wide receivers to throw to. So I rock with him.
Coming back, the training camp. Let's go into training camp. It was good. People was there. We got Makuba signed. Of course, everybody knows. Everybody's there. They look more.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, leader. Training camp the next 2 days, the past 2 days, yesterday and today. What you like, what you didn't like. Talk to me about training camp so far.
I just feel like everybody's moving around better than last year. What I mean by that is that they look healthier. Man, listen, Jordan Davis is the one I haven't talked about him. To know that he lost weight. To know that he lost weight is so significantly great because this guy was already moving at a 4.7. He was already moving at a 4.7 at 350 pounds. I mean, do you know what type of good season he's got? He's gotten stronger. The development team is good. Ringo was on first team snaps. Ringo was there most. Dory ended up getting some share, but just let you know, if you look at this first day of camp, you see what the depth chart really is projected before somebody beats a spot. Before somebody is actually there, you've seen them. I mean, you've seen Jeremiah Trotter Jr. at middle linebacker. Like I say, Adoree was next. You know, Adoree's going to be there as Isaiah Rodgers' role. That's basically what's going to happen with there. Jomo was out there. Robinson looking good. You got Jalen Carter. Everybody was out there. Jordan Davis was out there. Also, the Makuba. That's still the biggest, hypest get down. Makuba against Brown. It's going to be so looked at. So many eyes are going to be on that position. We'll just see how it goes. You look at the running back. The second running back was A.J. Dillon. I remember, shout out to my guys, the guys that do Chase Senior. A lot of those guys support, Will Shipley, which I told y'all. He's a top recruit, fast running back, 4.4, can run. He's like a poor man's Christian McCaffrey. He can catch the ball, he can run. And he's quick, he can return the ball. But A.J. Dillon is a big power back. Let me give y'all this. Stop giving people more pressure than it is. A.J. Dillon is here to be that second back. There is unless Will Shipley just completely blows everybody away, completely like A.J. Dip. They would not have signed a running back like A.J. Dillon if Will Shipley was already the talk. There's no A.J. Dillon is your second running back. For any expectations come up, a Quadzilla is number 2. Stop playing.
Damn right.
Stop playing.
Damn
Okay,
right.
so I understand some of the hype for people, And well, they should. They should have hype for him. These guys worked hard. They do a real
Right.
good job. Will Shipley got some good runs, some good catches. If y'all look at his season, he did. When he got a chance to get some catches and some touches, he did. But he's not doing no AJ. And AJ Dillon can also catch the ball.
Right.
This big dude can catch the ball, man. So this picture, Jalen Hurts with Saquon Barkley, AJ Dillon on the short route passing. We know Barkley can catch like a receiver, but
Yep.
the times they give AJ Brown the ball, just to help Hurts out, because you got Dallas Goedert, you got Grant Calcaterra, you got AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley on the short route, and these are powerful guys.
And Devontae Smith. We can't forget about Smitty.
He's a route runner, but we're talking about the guys that are going to start getting but they're not going to go out and get the ball. Smith can go out, he's going to take the top off. That's one of the parts they look for. But specifically, you're not going to see Dallas Goedert go out and take the top off anybody. You're not going to see Grant Calcaterra go and take the top off anybody. You're not going to see Will Shipley. Saquon can get out like a receiver. Man, it'd be so amazing to see him. Like that first catch in the Green Bay Packer game. When he caught, you like, oh, whoa. In the Super Bowl. Somehow, I don't know how he caught that ball. That was crazy. And that was an underrated catch. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at the receivers, and I'm looking at training camp, and like I say, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is one to get. Let's look at the people who come out there first. It's their job to lose. When they come out there the first day of camp, it's their job to lose. That means, just look at that. It's who they're thinking is going to win it. Who they're thinking is at the top right now. But I mean, Makuba's still there. Jahai Campbell's still there. I like Majomo. Hell yeah, I like it. Jomo's a beast. But Ty Robinson getting some work. I'm not saying he's going to win over a Jomo, but it's not going to be easy for him to be there. Am I going to be there August 10th? You damn right I'm going to be there August 10th.
There you go.
Open practice, I am going to be there. This is a good year. A Super Bowl. I mean, everything you want to think of a team is here. Real good team. And then it's my team. So I'm going to be out there, man. I'm sure I see a lot of the Eagle analysts, man. Everybody cool. You going to be out there, man?
Damn right. I'm going to be there. Who y'all
telling? I'm going to be out there listening. Well, plenty of ice water. I'm going to be out there, man. It's going to be on. I hope y'all out there. It's going to be real good to see, man.
Yeah.
I think the main thing I want to say about training camp.
Yep.
The main thing, I'm going to tell you, it might not be so big to y'all, but Hurts is still looking good, man. From the
Say
top.
That again. Who?
Hurts is still looking good, man. He's looking sharp.
What Hurts? Who? You talking about
Jalen freaking Hurts is looking good. From the top of the camps, you've always heard good about. We had Ed Cracks on here. What did he say? You think this might be his MVP year? MVP. It's just the way he's playing after a Super Bowl year. Because remember, last camp he was doing this thing, right? But now this year he's coming in, and it's all for him having a good season. I mean, listen, his percentage of throwing in the Super Bowl, 73%. 73, and this is also carried on to the point where we're going to get on about Cam Newton being a hate. Listen, that's crazy. That's crazy because I really got to talk about that when we get to it. But it's going to be
let's go ahead and then we'll get to the signing. Go ahead, start us off. I got him right here. Go ahead.
All right, now listen. Cam Newton recently said, and I want to give the respect part of it, and just let you know where you're disrespecting Cam. The respect part, Cam Newton played. He's a player. He's a polarizing quarterback. He went to the Super Bowl. But listen, man. The disrespectful part, that's just where the respect stops. You can't come and say, this was his reason. Anybody, this was his reason. I don't feel he's an elite quarterback because of what he's had to work with.
No, it ain't just that. Because I watched when he doubled down. He said the reason Jalen freaking Hurts ain't in the top 10 for him is not just because of Saquon, AJ, Devontae, and the defense. It ain't just because of that. It's because he threw for 200, 900, and 2,899 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Unlike Joe Burrow, who threw for 4,040 touchdowns, or Baker Mayfield, who threw for 4,040 touchdowns, or Josh Allen, who I think for 4,000 and those numbers.
I'm very sorry that I ended up turning the TV. Well, listen, it was a couple of interviews I was going through because they was going over the Cam Newton thing everywhere you go. So eventually I ended up saying, forget about this shit, taking this off. Because I'm really tired of hearing it. Now to talk about what Cool Cat talking about. Why would you make yourself look more stupid? Just because he had those stats? So that means what you're saying is they have to throw more yards to be elite. Instead, Jalen don't have to throw that many yards to be elite. He still got to the Super Bowl. Do y'all understand what he's saying? He's saying because of the stats. So you're basically saying why Jalen's
not just to play. It's not just the play. Hold on, leader. It ain't just because of Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Goddard, and the offensive line and defense. It's because Jalen freaking Hurts threw for 909 yards, I think, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Unlike Justin Herbert, who threw for 4,000, or Baker, or Jared Goff, or all these other quarterbacks who threw for 4,000 yards and 40, 30 plus touchdowns.
Okay, people, that is crazy. You're basically saying why Jalen Hurts. You just proved why he's a great quarterback. You should have kept it at the other point. You thought that he had the weapons. Now you're saying that, well, Jalen Hurts don't have to throw for as much as these guys. That's what makes him elite. Don't that let you know that's what makes him special?
Oh, there's more. There's more to say. He also said that unlike Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, teams are focusing on trying to stop those quarterbacks. With the Eagles, it's let's stop Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Well, that sounds crazy because eventually, if you're a great team, you're going to get exposed. What happened was the talk all week during the Super Bowl was stop Saquon. That was the talk. That was it. I mean, to be real, Cool Cat, that was more of the conversation than the actual Super Bowl. And everybody, if they could stop Saquon Barkley, they actually forgot about Hurts. They forgot about him. When the game came on, what happened? So once again, Cam Newton, you're saying because they threw for these many yards. I'm gonna let you know the stats of Jalen Hurts, everyone. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. 2,903 yards.
There you go.
18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 103.7 passer rating.
Yep, that's why Cam Newton doesn't think he's not elite, because it ain't just because of the players around him like Saquon, AJ, and Smitty and the defense. It's because exactly what Leader just said. Tell him those stats again, Leader.
2,903 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 18 touchdowns. Listen to the space in this, though. 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yep.
5 interceptions.
Yep.
17 games. 16
and
games.
What's the rating?
Games, sorry.
And what's the rating?
103.7.
That's why Cam Newton. That's why Cam Newton don't see Jalen Hurts as elite, because of that stats right there.
Forget you. Sorry, y'all. He also threw for 68.7 complete. I just wanted to come back after Cool Cat talk. 68.7, his highest, his career. Also in the postseason, we talking about.
He don't care about that. He don't care about the postseason. He
don't care about 65 for 91 from the post. 65 for 91. He don't care about 71.4.
Nope.
He don't care about 726 yards.
Nope.
He don't care about 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He don't care about 108.6 passer rating.
Nope, he cares about the regular season.
We're not talking about quarterbacks then. We're not talking about now. Cam Newton, you're letting me know exactly.
And he said, yeah, Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl and he won the Super Bowl MVP. Oh, it's a team sport. But team won the Super Bowl.
But he won the MVP. He actually said this?
Yeah. I'm gonna send you the clip right now.
Oh my god! That's why I turned the when I turned the TV off, because I got tired of people talking about Jalen Hurts. Because it's starting to get. Because remember, we was doing it the last show. We was talking about what T.J. Humanzada and all them said, right? Then Cam Newton's right after our show. Right after our show. And said something like, he's got to be the most hated quarterback. I'm telling you, they're not going to recognize him until he retires. Now, listen. The first thing he said was the season stats. Well, you're letting us know that he's elite if he doesn't have to pass for as much and still be elite and still win at an elite level. When they call on him, Baltimore game, Pittsburgh game, Super Bowl.
All right. I'm gonna play the clip.
Right,
I'm gonna send you the podcast. I'm gonna send you the podcast. I'm gonna text you the podcast.
Right.
And now I can't show it because it's Cam Newton and it's copyright.
I'll get to it.
What I can do is let you watch the short that he posted. But again, y'all gotta hear it. Y'all can't see it because YouTube is acting a little funny nowadays.
Right. Oh, yeah, we got it.
We ain't trying to be all that. So let me hold on. Let me get my quarterback out the way. Give me time, y'all. I'm trying to be as quick as I can because it's almost that time for me to dip. So let me do the best I can. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. All right. Get rid of that. Put us back up here. And listen to Cam. Here we go.
You do not need to go through Jalen Hurts.
Who do you need to go through?
The Philadelphia Eagles. Not relate. Won Pro Bowl in 2011. We cannot relate. People keep attacking Cam, the person, or why he didn't jump on the fumble, comparing and contrasting. So when I compare and contrast you guys' statistics and their analysis, but the message here is Jalen Hurts. This has nothing to do with me hating. Eagles fan, this has nothing to do with me being bitter. This is just my thought process in evaluating quarterbacks. Let's make people debate about sports again. There's too many homeboys in the industry. There's too many insiders that are moved by relationships. Well, you're not talking about the person. You're more or less talking about their performance. And that's what I will talk about. Did you know, Peggy, Jalen Hurts only threw for 2,900 yards in the whole season?
Yeah, 2,903 yards.
Did you know that his former teammate at Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa, threw for 36 yards less? You know, the kicker in that is?
What is it?
Tua only played in 11 games. Baker Mayfield threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Justin Herbert's stats, 23 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So what are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? Cam hating on Jalen? No, that's not the case. He doesn't need to play elite for his team to be successful. They're not winning games solely on his performance. The elite guys is. He lacks nothing in the skill department. But like I told him, team situation doesn't require you to showcase your individual talent. These guys that I put on the list are all valid. So stop coming for me as if I don't know this game of football.
There you go.
You know what? That one
Go ahead, Leah.
Okay. Like I said the first time, you talked about the season, right? Well, you're just letting you know. Of course, he had Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, but he has to throw to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So it's kind of crazy for you to say that it's a team game, but Jalen Hurts is not part of the team. He's the leader of the team. Then you look at, he's talking about college. The stuff he did his freshman season, did you do it, Cam? Did you do it, Cam? We all remember Cam being a monster. Did you do what he did his freshman season? Then you're talking about Tua. Okay. And the NFL, he's went against Tua. Let's go past college because coaches make decisions. Because after that, he went to Oklahoma and was a Heisman Trophy candidate. I'm just saying, this is all facts. He went somewhere else and was elite. He went against Tua last in 2023. Who won that game? Cam Newton. Who won that game?
Hold on. Before y'all answer it, I think we all know. Play the button.
Acknowledge me!
Cool cat. When the Eagles play the Los Angeles Chargers, who do it look like they playing in? Is it look like they playing in Los Angeles or Philly?
It was feel like Philly.
I mean, every time they go there, they don't have a good showing against the Eagles. So Justin Herbert is not even compared to that. Are we talking about Josh Allen? We're not talking about college Josh Allen to Jalen Hurts Josh Allen. That's not even the comparison. We're talking about the pros. 2023 was supposed to be a bad year for the Eagles, right? He came back and he beat them. Josh Allen could have sealed the deal. He's the quarterback, right? Or he don't have the talent. Jalen Hurts has to throw the talent. So basically Cam Newton, the intellectual veteran quarterback is what we call him, right? He's a vet. You know that you have to throw to people, right? You got to throw. You're the quarterback. So they're not going to make unless you throw the right pass. You're not going to go far unless it's consistently effective. We're talking about all the elite people on the team, but you can't have Saquon Barkley himself win that game unless they fear Jalen Hurts, unless they fear a A.J. Brown, unless they fear Devontae Smith. We're talking about solely. They got to figure out ways to stop A.J. Brown because they know Jalen knows how to throw to him. They got to figure out ways to stop Devontae Smith because they know Jalen knows how to throw to them. Double coverage comes. You got to go to you still have to watch for Jalen Hurts coming out the pocket. I haven't even talked about this. Through all these plays, you got to watch for Jalen Hurts coming out the pocket. They cannot tackle Jalen. 1 yard touch. You can't stop. It's an unstoppable play. Only when Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. You're talking about these great offensive lines. Troy Aikman didn't have a great 1 yard stance with them great offensive lines. It's powerful 600 squatting Jalen Hurts that gets these done to where the play has to be in talks to be banned. It's unfair. We're talking about pro head coaches. Jalen Hurts is so good. He got quarterbacks that have been in the Super Bowl talking about why he's not an elite and talking about that they wouldn't take the Super Bowl ring over MVP. What? He's so mad at, you know what that is, right? You talk to a person where you're hearing them talk and you're like, so you talking about you would do this over this, and undoubtedly self-explanatory the answer, but they chose the other answer because they're wrong right now and they want to prove themselves right. You look so stupid on TV. We have love for you, Cam. You were a polarizing player, but talking football, you're not making any. You got to make some sense. At least I would argue with you with the respective answer. But everything you're saying doesn't make any sense. It's not. He said one more time. Cool Cat said the 2,900 yards. So if so it's not about throwing the right passes. It's not about
one more time. Let me tell you what Cam. If you didn't hear the clip, go watch it. It's on Cam Newton's little thing.
Oh
what he just said on there, and I sent it to you, leader. So you should watch the full.
I got
thing.
it.
Yep. So what he said, it ain't just about Jalen freaking Hurts having Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Goddard, the best O-line in the defense. It ain't just about that. Number one, Cam Newton said these are the reasons why Cam Newton ain't going to put Jalen Hurts in the top 10. Number one, Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Goddard, and offensive line and defense. He said, the NFL, all the defensive players and coaches, they got a game plan for Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Goddard, and the defense, not Jalen. Right? That's number one. Number two, the 2,900 yards passing, the 18 touchdowns, and the 5 interceptions. So basically what he's saying is because of the pieces around him and the stats that he threw with those pieces, because Saquon had 2,000 yards, and the third reason is Jalen Hurts don't have to be elite to have the Philadelphia Eagles win.
Y'all see how stupid this sound? Go ahead, Cookie. Go
Right.
ahead.
Well, actually, let's play it one more time. Let's listen to it one more time. Hopefully, we don't get copyrighted, but let's listen to it one more time.
This shit is crazy.
Hurts.
Who do you need to go through?
The Philadelphia Eagles. Damn. So since that we want to attack the messenger, Ryan Clark. Okay, let's pull up a social story. And Peg Philadelphia. People keep attacking Cam, the person, or why he didn't jump on the fumble, comparing and contrasting. So when I compare and contrast you guys' statistics and Dan Orlovsky, never mind. But the message here is Jalen Hurts. This has nothing to do with me hating. Eagles fan, this has nothing to do with me being bitter. This is just my thought process in evaluating.
Y'all ready? Here it comes. Listen. Leader, listen. Y'all listen.
Let's make people debate about sports again. There's too many homeboys in the industry. There's too many insiders that are moved by relationships. Well, you're not talking about the person. You're more or less talking about their performance. And that's what I would talk about. Did you know, Peggy, Jalen Hurts only threw for 2,900 yards in the whole season?
Yeah, 2,903 yards.
Did you know that his former teammate at Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa, threw for 36 yards less? You know, the kicker in that is?
What is it?
Tua only played in 11 games. Baker Mayfield threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Justin Herbert's stats, 23 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So what are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? Cam hating on Jalen? No, that's not the case. He doesn't need to play elite for his team to be successful. They're not winning games solely on his performance.
See, told you.
Elite guys is. He lacks nothing in a skilled department. But like I told him, team situation doesn't require you to showcase your individual talent. These guys that I put on the list are all valid. So stop coming for me as if I don't know this game of football.
All right. Loving this. No, that interview was that was the backup interview. How this all started is when he said Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback by his yards like that. He said, and then Ryan Clark came back and was like, everybody has elite people around. Everybody has good people around them to where they're able to get there. Everybody does. And so now Cam Newton came back and said, because you know Ryan Clark talked about that fumble he didn't jump on. And so the next broadcast, this is when Cam Newton said this. This is when so he had to backtrack. He had to talk about Don Orlovsky. We all know who that is. He was a 5th round draft pick. He played in the NFL for some years, but he wasn't a big time quarterback. Ryan Clark won the Super Bowl. Let's put that first. Ryan Clark is a very intelligent mind. And he talked about everybody on that show was laughing at Cam Newton. So you aimed at one person. Ryan Clark just put it out there. Now to talk about this, we're talking about, I just wanted to go over it. When Cool Cat talked about 2,900 yards, that's all he had to do. Now, I could see if he had like a 89 rating, 61 completion percentage. He didn't have that. So when Jalen Hurts was able to make these plays, they happened. You can't talk about what he got because the Eagles made a good decision. The thing was, if he wasn't able to do it with those players, then we talk about the player. Cam Newton, you had receivers you could have won the Super Bowl with. You were the polarizing guy, right? You're saying elite quarterback. How come you weren't able to win the Super Bowl with all these criteria, antics, and strategies you're talking about a Super Bowl quarterback is supposed to have? You didn't have him in the Super Bowl. But who did? I'm just saying, who did it in the Super Bowl? Even in the loss. When you lost Cam Newton, you didn't look good. When Jalen Hurts lost, he played better than Patrick Mahomes. When Jalen Hurts lost, he looked better than Patrick Mahomes. I just feel like, and on that point, listen, once again, there's a lot of respect I give to Cam Newton on the player part. But for you, the only reason I'm coming at you on this is because you're not making any sense. This man didn't just go to the Super Bowl once in 3 years. He went there twice. And that time he was not, for MVP. Remember, he was in the MVP running. He really should have won, but you're going against Patrick Mahomes at that. Patrick Mahomes was his competition. And then we're talking about when he didn't go. Let's talk about he didn't go. They were 11-6. The guys you're talking about, they had better records than what? Justin Herbert? What did he have? I don't know.
The reason, again, let's go back. Number one, the reason he didn't, out of all this, not just the weapons, not just Saquon, AJ, Devontae, the biggest reason he didn't put Jalen Hurts on his top 10, because unlike his guys that he had on that list, Jalen Hurts, all those guys had close to 4,000 yards passing, close to 40 touchdowns, and less interceptions than Jalen Hurts did. Jalen Hurts had 2,900 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He ain't talking about the playoffs. He's not, hold on, leader. He's not talking about the playoffs. He ain't even talking about the Super Bowl. He's talking about the regular season.
So that's where he's saying his elite criteria is that. That's one of his choices. That's one of his choices. That's his elite criteria is that, which also says why he's an elite quarterback. Because listen, he only had to throw for 2,900 on you, but he still had 18-5. And a 68 completion percentage was one of his highest since 2022. Like, so there's no way he's basically saying because he didn't throw as much passing yards, he wasn't elite. Do y'all understand what that is? He didn't throw as much passing yards, so he's not elite. So if he would have rushed all, if he just would have threw all these passes when they didn't have to throw these passes, they got Saquon. They don't have to throw these passes. If he would have threw all these passes, he would have been elite.
I'll put it like this. I'm gonna show y'all something right here. In other words, and I know we're long-winded and salute to everybody. In other words, let me get this off. Come on, Jayla, get off. All right. In other words, he didn't do what these guys did.
And let's look at
y'all
these
see
numbers.
by the passing numbers. He didn't do what Joe Burrow did. He didn't do what Jared Goff did. He didn't do what Baker Mayfield did. He didn't do what Geno did, or Sam Darnold, or Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes had 3,928 yards.
Didn't have to.
He didn't do what Aaron Rodgers did, or Justin Herbert.
Didn't have to.
Or Brock Purdy.
Didn't have to.
Or Kyler Murray.
Never has
or
to.
Bo
Never has to.
Or Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels, the new flavor of the month, or Caleb Williams, or Kirk Cousins, or Jordan Love.
Right. That's a good criteria. He named some quarterbacks he didn't even name. Yeah. But what he's saying is they're all similar because these guys are near 4,000. You know, if you look at the completion percentage, not too many have 68, over 68. So we're looking at, and then look at the guys who have 68. Where did they place? Were they in the playoffs?
Yeah, as you see, Joe Burrow got 43. Jared Goff got 37.
He had the best season. As far as stats
Baker Mayfield had 41 touchdowns. Geno had 21. And then all the way down here, Jalen freaking Hurts, 18 touchdowns, 5.
I think Sam Darnold.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
He's basically tied with Kirk Cousins with the touchdowns.
So then that would make it'd be crazy now because he would have to really be an analyst. They would ask him, well, what about these other quarterbacks? Are they elite? Is Kirk Cousins elite? Is Tua elite? Is Geno Smith elite? Have they been to the Super Bowl?
You don't care about that. You know that, leader. He only
no. But what you have to understand is he has to. What I've been wanting you to say that. Keep saying it because he has to. You're talking about an elite quarterback, so he has to. You can't say that's irrelevant. That's impossible. To be an elite quarterback is about winning, and Jalen Hurts is the biggest winner. So what he's not caring about, he has to. We're talking about elite. But go ahead.
Yep, but I'll let you go ahead because basically what I'm saying is these are the quarterbacks that he ranks.
Yeah, right.
These are the quarterbacks that he's talking about of being elite.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Right. These are the quarterbacks. Actually, hold on. Let me go ahead. I'm looking at. All right. So Cam Newton's list. Hold on. I found the short. Hold on. These are Cam Newton's list. Let me
He
go
has
ahead.
a top 10. He has a top 10.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to find it. All right, he got Joe Burrow. We
beat him last year. We beat him.
Go ahead. All right, hold on. These are. I'm trying for him to say it already.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me listen to it. You go ahead and talk. Let me listen to it because he talking too much. Hold on. Let me listen and you talk.
Yeah. Burrow. I know he got Lamar in there. You know he got LaShawn Jackson. I think he had Jordan Love in there, motherfucker. That's crazy. I'm letting y'all know off top that listening to this guy talk about quarterbacks, and he's contradicting himself each time. You can't talk about a quarterback without winning. Now, if you shorten up on the stats, that's your opinion on stats. But the actual fact is that he's been better than them throwing 2,900 than they had 4,000. Joe Burrow threw for the whole. He threw more yards than everybody. He basically had MVP numbers. They didn't make the playoffs though. So you know why Cam Newton likes that? Because he would choose a MVP over a Super Bowl. That's why he likes him. He chooses an MVP over a Super Bowl. So, of course, Joe Burrow didn't even make the playoffs. He would love him.
Wait, I found it. This is his list. Y'all ready? I'm looking at it right now on YouTube. His top 10 quarterback list are as follows. Number 10, Baker Mayfield. Jesus. Number 9, Justin Herbert.
Jesus.
Number 8, C.J. Stroud. Number 7, Jaden Daniels. Number 6, Jared Goff. Six through 10 is Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, and Baker Mayfield. Now let's go to 5 through 1. Number 5, Matthew Stafford. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. And number 1, Josh Allen. So for leader to respond to it, the top 10 of Cam Newton's quarterback ranking is Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hold on. You go ahead and talk about it.
Oh my God, yo. Listen, I didn't know that okay. Let me get right. Let me get my thoughts. This is that's throw up juice. Like listen, you got CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud. I love Jaden Daniels. A second year and a first year quarterback is over okay. The number one guy is Josh Allen. What I'm trying to ask him is he doing this off last year because they wasn't even top 10 last year.
Yep. It's all because of
of last year. Okay. This makes more okay. Now it makes more. You said it's from last year, right? That makes more
going sense. Into the 20 Cam Newton's top 10 QBs for the 2025 season.
Good job.
So basically going into next season.
Okay, Josh, I'm looking at. I see why Josh would be number 1. I see why Lamar. There we go. You saying Patrick Mahomes? You saying Joe Burrow? That's where it stops. If you're talking about last year, I'm honestly saying that's where it stops. You ain't gonna say Jared Goff because of his stats. He didn't take him that mark. When the guys got hurt on his team, he couldn't take him there. He couldn't take because off his criteria of what a quarterback is, he would have been able to take them to the Super Bowl. Off his criteria, you don't need help. Your help, you might do good because of your help. Jared Goff wouldn't be over Jalen Hurts. Matthew Stafford, we beat them twice. And y'all questioned the way he played because Saquon Barkley had 200 yards each game. Well, what are you going to do if you're scared of Jalen Hurts? And so Saquon Barkley has to get the attention. He has not to get the attention. You're looking at Jalen Hurts, what he can do. You're looking at J.J. Brown. You're looking at Devontae Smith. Who else gets benefits off that? Who benefits off Jalen Hurts being the guy you're looking at to come out the pocket or throw that nice pass? Saquon Barkley gets a 2,000-yard season. He didn't get that when Daniel Jones had a nice little Pro Bowl season when they went to the playoffs. Oh, yes, they have that type of offensive line. That's just how good Barkley is. Everybody has 1,000 yards in our line, but just how good Saquon Barkley is, he had 2,000. So let's go back to Jalen Hurts. Now, the Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud didn't really – that wasn't good for Houston last year. And if you're talking about top 10, if you're going to put the critique on Jalen Hurts, you definitely had to put the critique on Justin Herbert because they've been hyping him up for years to be this guy that he hasn't been. For years. So if you want to critique Jalen Hurts and don't put him at number 2 like he should be, because he beat the guy. He beat the man. He's MVP. Like, that's the real – look, the highest you put him at is number 2. The lowest you put Jalen Hurts at is number 5. He is now top 5. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. So let's stop talking about that. Jalen Hurts has had the stat games. You can go to the Baltimore. You can go to the Steelers game. You can go in Washington in the playoffs. When he has to do it, he does it. So how you taking it away is when you call on him, he does it. You want him to be a stat sheet filler? Is that what
he wants?
You want a stat sheet filler. That's what you want. You don't want an elite quarterback.
Basically, all these. Remember the stats I showed you. I showed you leader of all the guys with their stats.
Right.
That's what Cam Newton's talking about. That's why all these guys are on the list. Because Justin Herbert. Let me go back to the stats. Justin Herbert. Let me find Justin Herbert. He threw for 3,870 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, who's on this list, 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Joe Burrow, 4,918 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Jared Goff, 4,629 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Who else is on this list? Jaden Daniels. Hold on, let me get to Jaden Daniels. He threw for 3,568 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Matthew Stafford, 3,762, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, he 4,172, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
I'm sorry.
And that's why he has all those guys in his top 10. Patrick Mahomes, 3,928, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's why he has these guys in the top 10 because they're throwing all these stats. And Jalen Hurts with Saquon, with AJ, with Devontae, with the best offensive line in the game, with Dallas Goedert, is throwing for one more time the 2,903 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
68.7 completion percentage and 103.7 passer rating. Okay.
And that's why, and again, one more time before the leader says his piece. He ain't talking about the regular season. He ain't talking about the playoffs. He ain't talking about the Super Bowl. Cam Newton is saying going into the 2025 season, what he saw in the regular season. Not the playoffs, not the Super Bowl, regular season.
And that's irrelevant because I'm always going to mention the playoffs because he said elite quarterback. So they can never be not said. He can never not. And that's 2 things I want to ask you, Cool Cat. These are 2 questions I have. That's what I'm saying. Like, that can never be took out because you're saying elite quarterback. So it has to be mentioned. Playoffs have to be mentioned because elite quarterbacks win. Okay, now, I wanted to ask you 2 things. Out of those, looking at those top 5 quarterbacks.
Top 10, remember, it's all these guys.
Yeah. I was just talking about the top 5.
Yep.
You can start there. Which one of those quarterbacks have thrown 5 interceptions or less last season?
Let's see. Lamar, let's go through the list one more time. Let's start with Josh Allen. Josh Allen threw how many? That's the Josh Allen, the MVP. Let me find him. Oh, yeah. 3,731 yards. 20
just give me the interceptions. I just want to know the interceptions.
Oh,
those
Josh.
Guys,
okay. Okay.
5 interceptions or less. 5 interceptions or less.
All right. Josh Allen threw for 6 interceptions. Lamar Jackson threw for 4. Patrick Mahomes threw for 11. Joe Burrow threw for 9. and Matthew Stafford threw for 8.
Then you go to Jared Goff, Daniels, the rest of the top 10. What did they five?
Right.
Five
Hold on, let me go to it. Jared Goff threw how many interceptions? 12. Jane Daniels threw for, let me go to him, 9. CJ Stroud threw for 12. Justin Herbert threw for 3. And Baker Mayfield threw for 16.
Man, unbelievable, Lamar Jackson. Nobody, we're talking about who compared to Jalen Hurts and throwing the most interceptions. Jalen Hurts improved his interceptions last year and threw for 5. And then we're talking about completion percentage. Completion percentage on those guys, just the top 5. I just want to say the top 5. Can you tell me the completion percentage of just the top 5?
The top 5. Joe completion percentage. We'll start like this. Joe Burrow, who's number 4, had a 70.6 completion percentage. Lamar Jackson, who's number 2, had a 66.7 completion percentage. Patrick Mahomes, who's number 3, had a 67.5 completion percentage. And Josh Allen had a 63.6 completion percentage.
Only one person threw over over 68.7, which was Jalen Hurts did. This is your top 5. This is the regular season. This is the regular season I'm talking about. This is not the playoffs, because that would be a 71.7. That would be unfair. 68.7. This is your top 5. You're talking about.
And then if you go down the list, Matthew. I forgot about Matthew Stafford. Hold on, let me find Matthew Stafford. He had a 65.8 completion percentage. Matthew Stafford. Now for the rest of them, Jared Goff, 72.4 completion percentage. Jaden Daniels had a 69 completion percentage. CJ Stroud had a 63.2. Justin Herbert had a 65.9. And Bake Show had a 71.4.
And you can go between the playoff part of that and just scratch all that. But hey, they had those. So if you're looking at his top 10, it's not accurate. If we're talking about stat sheet fillers, okay? You're talking about, I want to go to this. Jalen Hurts. You got in the Super Bowl. We're not talking about the playoffs, though. We're going to X the playoffs out. We're going to X those playoffs out. Those guys aren't known for beating the Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. You might have a Joe Burrow sighting. I'm just throwing it out there. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. Has Hurts beaten all of them in the last 2 years?
Yes, he has.
But we're talking about. I'm talking about regular season.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about regular season. I'm trying to be fair. I'm talking about. I'm listening to my guy. Listen, Cool Cat is saying some real good stuff. He's breaking everything down for you. He's giving you the numbers of what he's talking about. That's not making sense. Cam, and I'm gonna say this, okay? Maybe I'm right or wrong. It's just what it sounds like, because we have to give what it sounds like here, right, Cam? It sounds like you're secretly bitter. It just not even in a bad way. He just like, man, if I had what he had, I would have. But listen, did you do what he did in his last 3 years? Somebody put your 4 years up, and listen, as far as rushing, he has you, and you're only over him by like 1,000 yards in total yards in the first 4 years. Jalen Hurts is done in winning anytime. We're talking about the regular season. We're not talking about the playoffs. We're talking about the regular season. A person who is not going to complain. Listen, this is real, everyone. Before we get to the free agent part, a person that's a quarterback elite is not going to talk about why he's not winning. That's not going to make any sense. Because if the quarterback was bad, and we're talking about a lot of cases, Dan Marino didn't win Super Bowl. If we're talking about in a regular season, Jalen Hurts has won. And has won in 9-8. Y'all remember I keep saying in the 9-8 season when he didn't even have these guys, he still went to the playoffs. It's games he's won without them being there. One or the other. It's games. Listen, we're just going down the list. The regular season. I'm just doing that to stable out what it sounds like. You're just talking about you're not talking about the playoffs because you know it's a little unfair. He did better than you in the playoffs, so that was a little unfair. You're talking about his seasons wouldn't be as good if he wasn't have those guys. Of course, I mean that's what it's a team game, but there's a quarterback throwing to these guys.
Well, shout out to my guy Philly the podcast, man, Joey. Shout out to you. Yeah, this is the top 10. And remember, Cam Newton said the reason he doesn't have Jalen Hurts in his top 10 is not only because of Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Goddard, the best offensive line, or the pieces around him. No. It ain't just that. It's because all these guys threw close to 35 to 4,000 plus yards and 20 to 40 touchdowns.
That's a balance thing, too. Listen.
And it's about the regular season, he said. He ain't about the postseason. It ain't about the Super Bowl. Go watch it yourself. It's on there on his YouTube channel. It's about the regular season going into 2025.
This is a normal juggle, man, because, of course, you're not going to throw. Okay, go to all those guys, right? What running back was better than Saquon? What offensive line? Of course, they're going to go to those guys. But when Jalen Hurts, this is the answer to Cam Newton's questions. When Jalen Hurts is called about to do the elite things that you say these guys can do, but Jalen can't in the regular season, what does he do? And we're just talking about the regular season. He came back against Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. He came back and he killed Tua. He killed what? Russell Wilson thought he was good running hot at Pittsburgh, didn't he? Remember when the Cowboys was hyping up Cooper Rush? Silence. Listen, it's all been done. Aaron Rodgers even knows about this guy. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But going to the one part that I have to really go on him, yes, Cam is just trying to get clicks. You know it. Like he's one of those guys. And my thing is this, man. Good players. Good, so we don't give Emmitt Smith that credit because he ran behind that great offensive line. Yeah, Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman, them chumps, the Cow chumps, I'm sorry. How you doing, Cowboy fans? The Cow chumps that credit, they was dominating, man. You don't give St. Louis credit. Like what the credit you're giving Jalen Hurts, you're giving him credit really because you're saying he doesn't have to do much to be elite. All he has to do is display it when he has to display it. If y'all really look at it, now, I didn't know Cam was saying it like that. When Cool Cat broke it down, because I literally turned it off when he was saying something. I was like, oh, this is, I'm sick of this. Second week in a row. It's like this two times in a week. And so he breaks it down. I'm like, oh, well, you make yourself look stupid. You're breaking every reason down that Jalen Hurts he doesn't have to do as much.
And again, before we get to the Eagles signing and before we wrap up,
right? These
guys right here, the reason they're in the top 10 and Jalen Hurts isn't, is because Cam Newton says because these guys throw for this many yards and Jalen Hurts threw for 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Crazy.
And he don't have to be elite for the Philadelphia Eagles to win because of Saquon, because of AJ, because of Devontae, because of the defense. He ain't talking about the playoffs. He ain't talking about the Super Bowl. He's talking about his top 10 for the 2025 season, what Cam Newton saw last season and going into this season.
I'm going to tell you like this, Cam. Cam, it's like me saying this right here. If you didn't play Pro Bowl football, will we respect you talking? You talk about Dan Orlovsky. Oh, yeah, playing, yeah. But talking football, Orlovsky's one of the best. Dan Orlovsky's one of the best. If anybody has watched analysts, he's one of the best. And he's definitely a person you listen to over Cam Newton. Ryan Clark, and he won a Super Bowl. He's definitely a person you listen to over Cam Newton. So it's just like that.
In other words, to wrap it up in a big bow, he thinks that these guys right here are game changers.
Game changing comment.
He thinks that Jalen Hurts is a game manager.
This is crazy. That's crazy. But no, listen, we respect everybody's opinions, but that's what they're for, everybody. But in the end, the fact always remains.
Yep. So finally, let's get to this signing that you was talking about, leader.
On Conroe. Listen, He's a good signing. What you do is you give more pass rush, 6'2", 250. He had 7 sacks the last 2 seasons. Listen, you get athletes. I like this, cool. Okay, I was telling you, we was talking about the defense and how they might be a better pass rushing team this year. This got more dogs. Aziz, Josh Uche, you got to the point where even Lane Johnson giving them his stuff. You still got Jahad Campbell. That's 4 guys we know that are gonna rush straight up, going to be good rushes. Also, Ty Robinson's coming. I told you about Byron Young. I feel like he's a guy to look at. Thomas Booker is going to be a rusher. We're looking at stars. We're looking at guys that are athletic, they're aggressive, they can rush. And as you rotate them, you're rotating them. You're tying out the defense. They got to go at relentless guys. And if you got some guys that had 8, 5, well, these guys are not going to get as many snaps as they had getting those sacks. So now they're going to be even more fresh. I mean, it's going to be some dogs now. Jalen Carter, Jomo. I mean, good. Even Mondo Jr., Mondon Jr., like Cool Cat. That's the guy Cool Cat called for. I'm telling you. When I called him before the draft, I said, who you want, Cool Cat? He said, if they from Georgia, get them. Yep. I said, and they got a good one. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he slipped. I'm real surprised. I mean, Jahad Campbell's surprised, but mine, this is like Ringo. Like he slipped. I was like, Jesus. Lolan Smith, listen, man, Howie the boy. But that's a good guy they signed. They also signed Jacob Sykes. He came from the UFL. I don't know. I did my homework on him. He's a guy that Clint, the defensive line coach knows, and they're good. So I mean, if anything, he'll be practice squad. But I think Ogbo is in the rotation. I mean,
yep, and I like him too, man. Good signing by the Philadelphia Eagles. And with that. What's the next episode's topic, Leah, so I can prepare for
next episode topic? We're going to get more on the running back and special teams positions. That's the ones we're going to talk about. Camp is starting, so I really want to know. It's going to be good to see Shipley and all them guys doing their thing, and we'll talk more about training camp because it's going to be so much more training camp news.
And we're also going to, sorry to interrupt you, leader. We're also going to prepare for. We're also going to prepare because starting next week, it's the countdown to our first preseason game versus the Bengals. So we're also going to preview that game as well.
No question. And also, listen, man, anything that's, you're going to see, it might be a new subject on the Eagles. If it pops up, we're going to let you know. We're going to talk about it. So if you see something pop up during the week, know that already B.O.B.S State Leaders Edition, where me and Cool K are going to cover and we're going to break it down. So we're going to be paying attention to everything that's updated. And shout out to y'all and your families and do good thing out there.
Yep, and with that, y'all, fly Eagles, fly Go Birds. We'll see y'all next Thursday, same time, same channel. The leaders of Broad Street say peace.
Yeah.